Everyone, welcome back to the CodeIsha Training Center. So today we will discuss about the Div and the Span elements in this session. As per 30 days series, HTML 30 days series, we are at the day 13. Okay. So in this session, we'll discuss about the what is Div and why we use that Div, and the Span and what is that and why we use that. Okay. And how we can organize web pages using these two elements in this web page. Okay, so let's get into the main slides. So coming to the in this session today, our agenda is we are going to discuss about the what are HTML containers and the understanding the div and also span, and also we'll discuss about the difference between the div and the span. Okay, and styling with the css using that span. Okay, and practical example and best practices, and we'll wrap this session with the assignments. Okay, based on this today's topic. Okay, and so coming to the first one, what are HTML containers? So these HTML containers are used to group HTML elements together. Okay. So for example, we have the passage, we have the H1 like heading tags, and we have the images tags, and we have the buttons and the input elements also there, right? So these are all we need to uh, take the at one place, that the group HTML elements using the div tag. Okay, so let's see how we can define that and how we can add inside the elements, and what are elements we can add inside the div. Okay, so they help organize the content, and applies the css styles. Okay, and create the layouts based on our requirement, and it improves the code readability. Okay, so these all helps when we use the HTML containers. The two most commonly used containers are div and the span. Okay, so we'll discuss these two, what is the about those things, and what why we use that two important commonly containers in this HTML. Okay, so first one, coming to the what is div. So a div is a block level container used to group larger sections of the content. Okay, and it starts the new line. Okay, and it takes the full available width whatever we are given that it will take the total width of the web page. Okay, and it contains the multiple HTML elements, whether it is p tag, whether it is h tags, and also we have the images tags also there, right? So these are all we have to add inside the div. Okay, because of we are adding together with the help of the div tag, that is the block element. Okay, and it use it for layouts and the sections also. Okay, so this is the main key of the div. Okay, and coming to the span. So coming to the span, a span is an inline container used to style or manipulate a small portion of the text. Okay, so for example, we have the see here, we have the allow students, right? So I need for specific students I need to span. Okay, so for that student I need to change some font size or some color or any other manipulate to do that text. I need to use that span. Okay, so that span, where it works the inline container. Okay, so whatever we are added the HTML tags, whether it is p tag, whether it is heading tags. Okay, so any other we can add inside that, that is the span. Okay, why? Because we need to use that span for style or for the manipulate the text. Okay, small portion of the text. Okay, so it does not start on a new line. Okay, so div is start at the new line, right? But here span is not very quiet. So because it's not start the new line, it occupies the inside that. Okay, and it only takes the required width. Okay, so whatever we are added the spam from closes or from opening tag to closing tag, it will occupy only that width only. Okay, so div will occupy the everything from start to end, it will occupy, right? So in the web page, but here it will occupy only whatever we are given, and that too only inside inline. Okay, So these mostly use it for styling text. Okay, so when we are use this for styling, no, sorry, styling text. Okay, and coming to the next one, Div versus Span. So coming to the Div, it is block level element. Okay, so it starts on a new line and it takes the full width of the web page. Okay, and use it for the page sections, and it contains the multiple elements, whether it is passage, whether it is headings, whether it is buttons, whether it is images or links or any other related multiple elements it will occupy. Okay, it will contain. Okay, and coming to the span, it's so span is inline element. Okay, so it does not start on a new line. Okay, so it will takes only require width whatever we are given the from opening tag to closing tag. Inside that whatever we are given, from that width only it will occupy. Okay, so use it for styling text. Okay, so mainly we prefer this span element for the styling text. Okay, and it usually contains text or inline elements. Okay, so this is a difference between div and the span. Okay, and coming to the next one, so here's the div and span examples, how we can write and how we can add the tags inside the web page. Okay, so here first we need to define the div. So inside that whatever we have, the whatever we need elements we can add with the like heading tags, passage tags, and images and buttons or input. Okay, so these are all we need to add inside the div. Okay, and coming to the span, so see here we have added the p tag. So inside that I'm added the one line of the text, so like welcome to html. Okay, so here I need to html whatever we have the word, I need to go with color red, only that word only. I don't need full of this sentence. I need only from sorry, I need only for HTML. So for that I added inline element, that is the span, from where I need to before the HTML and after the HTML I'll close the with the span. So here I need to add it whatever our requirement, whether it is color, whether it is font size, whether it is font weight, or whether it is font family. Okay, so any other related you need to add for that text. Okay, so here the simple examples for these two. And next one, let's simple example scenario. So like imagine classroom is a dev. Okay, so it groups many students together. Like dev will have the many elements together, right? Whether h1 p tag, sorry, heading tags, p tags, and the buttons or any other related tags will any other related elements will be have the inside the David, that is the classroom. Okay, and coming to the span, it will be name badge. Name badge means it highlights only one student's name. Okay, right? So means it will highlights the only whatever we are added the inside the text. Inline inline element whatever we are added for that specific text, so it will only highlights the that text only, not full of the whatever we have the inside the those full width of the length of the text. Okay, so it will only occupy whatever we are given that. Okay, so and coming to the next one, here's the best practices. So before going that we need to write the piece of code for this. Okay, so let's back into the code editor, let's open it here, let's zoom it. So now I'll say it and give a minute. I'll open it on web page. Okay, here it is how. So I'll delete it. I'll save it this file as, date 13. Okay, and with the extension HTML, right? And select the all and just save it. So now back into the folder and open it, web 30. Let's copy it and open this here. Okay, so now I'll add the, first of all I'll add the div tag. Okay, nothing but block element, right? So after HTML h1 I'll add in the first div. So inside div I'll adding the first h2, sorry, I'll adding the h2 first. So inside I'm giving the block level container. Okay, I'll add the block liner container and I'll save it, and again I'll add the p tag. Here I'm adding the dev element is a block level container element. Okay, I'll save it, and let's see, let's refresh it and see here block level and whatever I given the h1 and the here uh, p passage, right? And let's try to add inside the p tag. I'll add the one more thing, nothing but a link. Think hr of equal to, I'll take Google. Okay, let's refresh it. Yep, so now it is came. So from block elements to here link up to link, it will have the one container, right? So let's click on that, it will open like this. Okay, so up to okay, right? So here up to we are finished the dev. Now I'll add the inside dev, I'll add the only from block element. Okay, so block level I need only color is red. Okay, span, and here I'm going to span. Okay, here I'm going with the style equal to red. Okay, let's save it and let's back into the web page. Let's refresh. See, now changes, right? What it changes from black to red color change. So I'll add green color. Not only color, we can change font and font weight and font family and any other related we can change with the span from specific text. So let's refresh it. See, now it will changes, right? From red to it will comes green. Okay, so up to okay, right? Everything, how we can add the div, and inside that how we can add the elements, and for that elements how we can add the span inline element to for the changes the text color, for font weight and font size or any other related styling, we can use that span inline element. Okay, let's back into the presentation, and now we'll discuss about the best practices. So when we are going with the dev or span, better to must and should follow these points. Okay, so use dev for layouts only. Okay, and use span for styling text. Okay, and avoid unnecessary nested devs. Okay, like inside the dev and inside the dev, so like that you don't need add when you don't need. Okay, so keep html clean and readable code. Okay, and use css instead of inline elements whenever the possible. Okay, so see here we are added the inline style, right? So we are add the span and the added the inline lines, right? So when you are going with the working on the more text, better to create separate file for the css, nothing but style purpose. Okay, so better to go with that. Okay, so when you are going with the one or two lines, better to go with this one. Better go with this type of the inline element with help of this span. Okay, or you are working on the more code, better to create separate file for the css style and add in that styling whatever you need. Okay, and let's back into the ppt. So today assignment is based on the topic, so let's try to add the one div. Okay, so give it that div is a header. Okay, and one more is main content, and one more add for the footer. Let's try to add the here header for your resume name or any other, and let's try to add inside the main content like whatever you have the skills and whatever you are learned skills and whatever you are done certifications, add inside this main content. And let's add here footer like your mobile number or email address or any other portfolios links there. Let's add it inside the footer. Okay, and highlight your name using this span element. Okay, and highlight whatever your skills are done with this span. Okay, and let's try to change colors like blue, white or red or any other like pink or any other violet and the red. Okay, so let's try to add the specific one skill and one color. Okay, so let's try to create this assignment. Okay, okay, so thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope this video help you findful and you are learn something new about the dev and the span. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. So don't forget to the subscribe and follow us and share it with your friends whoever they actively learning on these software technologies. Thank you everyone.